How to upholster an Ahrend 220 office chair, made by me, Maya, stoffersteen.com. To begin with, take clear pictures. Front side, back side, left side, right side. The underside will follow. Where are the bolts to get the backrest out? Well, remove the cap and there's the bolt. Use hand tools to get the bolt out. Save the mold. Remove the bolt at the other armrest. Do you want a more detailed manual? Come and see our download center. The link is in the box below the video. Remove the plastic back cover. Turn the chair upside down and make very clear pictures of this procedure. Remove the screws, which you can see now. Shove the frame a little forwards. Remove the screws. And there are many more screws to remove. The seat is now loose from the frame. Remove the plastic cover. You're now able to remove the armrests. Take clear pictures, later on it will be very important. Cut the cord of the cover of the seat. Now you have a loose cover. Mark the warp with an arrow and a U for under, knee side. Remove the cover carefully. In earlier days they used adhesive spray to stick the fabric onto the foam. Time for the backrest. Remove the staples with a staple lifter, hickory hammer and a side cut pliers. Then cut the cord. In this case the backrest is re-upholstered on top of the old fabric. Twice the work. I don't like lazy upholsterers. Again mark the warp with an arrow and a U for under. Remove the fabric. Mark the pieces which will have to be stitched together again. Use a seam ripper to take the fabric apart. Mark the pieces which is which, and an arrow for the warp for U for under. You will find a complete and more detailed manual in our download center, stoffersteen.com. If all pieces are done, the shape of the backrest is like this. Unravel the stitched edge too. Stick all pieces onto upholstery cardboard with an adhesive spray. Make sure your mold is equal at both sides. Make an incision with a hobby knife in the middle and fold the cardboard to check it. Take over your markings onto the cardboard. I have a special pliers, but a scissor will be fine too. Now repeat the procedure for the seat. After you made all molds, you can now start puzzling onto your fabric. Always draw on the back side of the fabric. Just for this tutorial I used a black marker onto the right side of the fabric so you can see everything very clearly. Normally you will use tailor's chalk or a charcoal liner. Again the arrow for the warp and the U for under. Write down which piece it is. Overlock your fabric to prevent it from fraying. If you don't have an overlock machine, use a zigzag stitch. The shapes of the seat look like this, and the shapes for the backrest look like this. Make sure all your markings are there. For this tutorial I used dark green yarn, so it's all visible for you. Better looking is the thread color which matches your fabric. Your bobbin should have the same thread. We start with the easiest sewing bit, the seat. Lay the middle piece with the right side of the fabric to the top onto your table. Put the side piece on top with the right side of the fabric facing down. Put your stitch length to average. Stitch at 1 cm from the edge. Upon stitching, hold the middle piece in a straight line. If your mold is correct, it will perfectly fit. Don't forget to make a back stitch at the beginning and end. Fold the cover inside out to the right side of the fabric. Open up the seam. You might want to iron it, but make sure it's at low temperature. Now alter your stitch length to big. Top stitch one side of the seam. One side done. Top stitch the other side of the seam. To be able to tension the fabric, you will need a cord. I have used button twine here. Put the cord next to the edge of the fabric and overlock it, or use a zigzag stitch. It should look like this. Leave an opening of 1 cm to be able to pull. Put the fabric onto the seat with the warp arrow to the knee side. Rub the fabric with your hands in order to get all sides equal and the cover is straight. Pull the cord gently. Turn the seat several times to check if you are happy with the result. If yes, pull it tight and put some knots in it. The backrest. Put one side part on top of the middle piece, the top part. Again, right sides of the fabric facing each other. Stitch at 1 cm off the edge. Make sure the markings will reach each other. Fold the fabric open and open the seam. Top stitch both sides. Now stitch the other side piece the same way. The shape looks like this now. Stitch the top half onto the lower middle piece. Right side of the fabric facing each other. Is it getting boring? Well, it's very important to get your markings perfectly matching. Fit the cover so every now and then. Open up the seam and again make a top stitch. That's one side done. You're nearly there. Now the other side. Almost ready. Just fit the cover onto the backrest once more. Happy with the result? Make a cord like you did at the seat. Do you have a compressor? Set it at 6 bar. Use 8 mm staples. Tension the fabric and fasten with some sub-staples. Keep turning the backrest to check if your fabric looks good and equally. When you are satisfied, remove the sub-staples and replace them with vinyl ones. Make sure your top stitch seam is placed nice and neat in the corners. A few staples at the edge of the backrests are sufficient. Pull the cord carefully. It will now wrinkle at the backside. Divide the fabric as equal as possible and fasten with some staples. This way your backrest will be tightly upholstered. And this is what you want to achieve, isn't it? Assemble all back together now. Forgot where the bolts should be put back? This is why it's so important to make very clear pictures. Mr. Stoffie?
I'm only checking if you did a proper job.
Well, thanks for the confidence, Mr. Stoffie. And yeah, the end result. I hope this video is any helpful for you. And don't forget, it's fun to upholster your own chair. Hope to see you soon again at stoffestein.com. Maya.